Hello, YouTubers. Patdees 72 here. I'm going to talk about a couple things, but how this video came about is watching one of Ralli Roots where they talked about Plato's Closet 70% off, and they talked about BOLO, and I didn't obviously know what BOLO meant until they said it was, be on the lookout. So we were heading to Walmart to do a little retail arbitrage and see what clearance items were on sale this weekend, and we saw Plato's Closet, and we decided to stop in and check out. And sure enough, when we pulled up, we saw on the front door that they had a sign of 70% off. Now, we went into the store. At first we thought it was 70% off of everything, but it was only 70% off clearance items. So they had a special sections that there was pink versus the normal blue, that they were doing the 70% off. The store was kind of busy when we were there. We were probably there around 4:30 Sunday afternoon, and I was kind of surprised. There was probably about 10 or 12 people in there, um, some buying clothes. And then they had a special on some shoes for $5, but we didn't notice any of those. Those seemed to be like gone. Um, so we walked around the store. We did buy a couple items, but we were light on cash because it was a not planned visit that we stopped in. So, but I want to thank Ryan and Allison for providing the videos that they do. Because of that, I stopped there, and it may be a new sourcing place for me in the future. Not all the time, because sometimes some of their prices, to be honest, some of their things are are basically what we need to sell them for. Um, but that'll be the discussion today, and so a couple things that we'll talk about. And thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe to our video, and we greatly appreciate it. Okay, let's get started. Um, this is Patdees 72 here, and the topic today is going to be Plato's Closet. Again, recommendation was from Ryan and Allison, Ralli Roots. We made a video of the top 10 resellers that we feel have influenced us and have made us want to even do YouTube, and we rated Ralli Roots #1. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out, and I'll overtalk a little bit of the footage that we have in Plato's Closet, because you can hear some of the music, and I don't want to get infringed on by some copyright because of the backgrounds. They were playing the music louder than I thought, but here we are, walking through it. You can see I'm checking out the shoes. There were some nice shoes there. Now, these shoes weren't on clearance. Like I said, when we first walked in, I thought everything was on clearance at 70% off. And as you can see by some of the shoes, some of them are worn. So we have the tendency to when we look for items, what would we pay for them, and what would you pay brand new for them? If you're going to pay $50 for a brand new pair of shoes, and they're selling them 30, 35, chances are we're going to pass on those, because we just can't compete with the new pair of shoes. Here I am just looking through some t-shirts. Matt Hardy delete shirt. Jane's Addiction. We didn't have a whole lot of we didn't spend a whole lot of time. We've only spent probably about 20 minutes in the store. Those were some unique looking shoes. They had some good tread on them. If you look around, you'll see, sorry about my finger being in the way, I had my tripod that I had for my camera, it broke over the weekend, and I ordered another one, so I had to hold the camera.
And then there's a rack up there.
Now you see the pink there? Those were the items that were on clearance for 70% off.
So not everything is...
Those pink tags sticking out where it said 7. See, now it says blue, there's like a greenish blue there, extra large. Those were the normal price things. So there were sections everywhere that, see how it says large pink there? That's the items that were 70% off. They had a lot of items still at 70% off, and I asked the girl how long they were going to be doing it, and she said to the 26th, and then after that it was going to go to 90% off.
this
I
rack
guess
is.
that rack there is the wooden bench. It looks like those were where the shoes were supposed to be for $5, but I think if you saw there was only 2 or 3 pair. Now my son Joshua pointed out these Dickies jeans, brand new with tags on them,
Get those.
and they were 70% off. What I'm finding is selling stuff on eBay.
Huh?
Um, you get your money
Like
better
that, right?
with new items with tags on them, especially
No.
Dickies is a brand that obviously you could buy at
No,
Walmart
70%
or
off. That's
really
whatever.
any, probably Target, those store like that. So
7,
it's not a high end
12. Yeah,
brand,
like $6.
but yeah, it's a known brand. So trying to get
There's a couple.
$12 for a pair of pre-owned or used Dickies is hard, but getting $17-18 for a new pair with tags is much easier. These jeans usually go for around $25-30. I pulled those one pair out and then I spotted the other pair and I wound up buying. I actually left with only 4 pairs of new Dickies jeans. Again, because I didn't have the cash with me to really go shopping. And, I think that's another thing. You got to set a budget. If you're selling $500, for example, worth of items in a week, you can't go buying $500. If you're buying stuff for $250 and you're flipping it for a double, in a sense you should have $250. Now keep in mind, don't forget there's fees that come out of that, and if you're trying to take money out of that to live on, obviously you're Hey guys, thanks for checking out my latest video. That was my Plato's Closet visit with the 70% off. And again, I stopped there because Ralli Roots had, in their video talked about, he didn't even get clothes. Ryan said he got, I think it was 5 or 6 pairs of shoes that he picked up. You know, that's one thing is, and I think everyone watching these videos, you have to do what's best for you. If you can't afford to go out and buy $500 at a time, start out slow. Maybe only buy 100. Um, because one thing I'm finding with clothing, there is a lot of competition. Keep in mind, not everybody that goes into Goodwill, Salvation Armies, Plato's Closet are resellers. Those are people that are buying clothes because they're looking for cheaper clothes. So we're competing with them. A good place to start, in my opinion, is look around for items that you have in your house. I read somewhere that people on average have several $1,000s worth of stuff they don't use. That's between clothes, stuff up in their attic, they can start out and sell and get a good feel. And that's a way to start out for no money. I know watching all these videos, hey, someone's doing 200, someone's doing $300,000 a year, and we think that happens overnight. It doesn't. I know I've been in business, and you get envious seeing other people and what they're doing. Just focus on what you're doing and what you can afford. Don't go out there, in my opinion, and lay out $5,000 for inventory, and then you're sitting on it for 6 months, and then you're discouraged because it's not selling because you didn't have the right mix of product, or you're not willing to budge on price. A lot goes into it. That's why myself, I've been selling on eBay, buying and selling for 20 years. Now I'm trying to do it more full time now, just because something has come up in my life that I need to do this. Where before I was doing it on a part time basis. A lot of times people do it on a part time basis because they just want extra spending money, or they want to take a vacation. That's why you got to do what fits for you. I could see myself doing this now for the rest of my life, part time right now, and eventually doing it full time. But you need to do that. You need to be turning over stuff. You need to be, and there are guys that are strictly doing Amazon, and they're not even touching eBay. So you got to decide which one's best for you. eBay is good, and I've sold a lot of stuff on eBay, but sometimes it's very hard to repeat. Sometimes you can only find one item and sell that item to make a profit. My attitude going forward is you may not hit a home run every time, but at least show up to bat. So even though you may not be able to do $5,000 worth of retail arbitrage, do 500 and see where it gets you. My best video that I've uploaded here on YouTube has been the one that I did at Staples called Retail Clearance, Retail Arbitrage, where I bought some items in there and featured some of the items. It's last I looked today, it was over 800. That tells me that people want to know how to source things, how to find things, and it's not always easy. You have to get out there and look around and know what things are selling for. This is a job, in my opinion. You're not just going out there and going, oh, something's 30%. My son calls me up and he says, Dad, things at Target are 30% off. And then I say to him, I said, that's still not good. I said, until even if we sold that on eBay, not even doing Amazon, until you to me, to be competitively priced, it's got to be almost the same or slightly less than what someone could pick it up at Target. They're willing to pay about the same or slightly more because of the convenience of having it delivered to their house. And that's another thing you got to think about is, if it's $2 more, people will go, you know what? I don't have to drive 10 miles. I don't have to spend $5 in gas. They won't bat an eye at $2. Or if it's something they can't find, such as in the case when the beer to picker was selling the monopolies, you just couldn't find them. But one of our next videos coming up is going to be a little bit of Walmart clearance we're going to show. Now, we only bought one item. They had a lot of clearance, and I think if I would have had the time and the money, I would have dug deeper into it, but I had neither. So that'll be a video that we feature next. Part of doing this, research on YouTube, just like I did, because wanting to get pointers and learn from other people is checking out and coming up with something that's good for you. I made a top 10 eBay reseller YouTube channels, and except for maybe two are very similar. I would say Rockstar Flipper and Rake and Profits have similar things they do, and the Bearded Picker and Rise and Grind are similar. But in those 10, there's basically 7 to 8 different ways of making money between dumpster diving, retail arbitrage, reselling on eBay. Taco Stacks does a lot of variety of things with flea markets. So there's a good variety. So check out that video where you can see I rank, in my opinion, the top 10 eBay resellers that influence me wanting to get back on eBay and say that, hey, this is possible. And really what's pushed me, the Bearded Picker, and Scott and Shane and Rise and Grind Picker, about the opportunity that I've been missing out on Amazon. I have access to getting actually wholesale items that I can sell on eBay or Amazon, excuse me, and even on eBay. But just because it's so repeatable to do on Amazon, and I don't have to worry about the shipping, just ship it to them once and let them do it. And the funny thing is, I worked for them a couple years ago, so I know how the whole process works, and I see what people were buying, and they were willing to pay $22 for a case of water because it was being delivered to them. Okay, YouTubers, soon we're going to be wrapping up here. I wanted to, a couple days ago, I did a test premiere, and one of the things I didn't think of is that sometimes some people will listen to the videos and not sit there and always comment, but they'll listen to them just looking for advice or looking for pointers, while they're cleaning or doing other things in the house. I've done that myself while taking pictures. I'll listen to videos, but a lot of times, especially if there's certain videos that I want to watch because I want to see what they're doing, I'll sit, glued to the computer. I'm watching YouTube more than I am the regular TV anymore. So I wanted to make sure that we were talking throughout this whole process so that if anyone was sitting there listening, that there was no empty spots. And, I haven't got a webcam yet. It's just not in the budget, but we are going to do something soon because I want to be able to actually, and that's what will make the content longer, is being able to talk to other people, not having one person trying to produce an hour's worth of talking, because you're just talking to yourself and not getting any feedback. But hey, I really appreciate if you guys could like and subscribe to my channel. It's Patdees 72. We talk about a variety of subjects, not just eBay reselling, but stock trading, and there's other things that we're adding content to. We're trying to do about 3 to 4 videos a week, and thanks, and like and subscribe. Have a good day.